Welcome to another session of Teams in 20. Today, we are going to be talking automation. Now, this is one of my favorite ever sets of tools. So we're going to talk forms, lists, and teams. I'm going to give you a scenario of my automation needs. I'm going to show you what the solution was to my scenario, and then I'm going to show you how I put that all together. Now, I should say I'm not a techie. If I can do this, you can do it. So yeah, let's crack on and let me show you how. If you haven't met me before, my name is Jo Johnston. I'm a senior customer success managing local government customers at Microsoft, and I've got a new profile picture. And if you haven't used Microsoft Designer, this is somewhere you can go and get lost for hours, but it's a lot of fun and you can create some amazing images. So if you haven't got your Christmas card sorted yet, Microsoft Designer might be your friend, and we'll definitely do a session on this in the future. So let's get started. My scenario for today is for Santa. Santa has got a really busy time on his hands, and he's got, with so many more people on the planet, he's inundated with tons of emails and letters. It's all getting a little bit out of control for Santa. Every day when he's checking through those letters or those emails, he's making a note of what everybody wants for Christmas, and he's making sure that, are they on the naughty or the nice list? And then he has to send that information off to the elves to see if they can sort out their presents. So lots of things going on with Santa and the elves. The good news is Santa has got himself an M365 license, hurrah, and he is on Teams in 20 learning about automation. So we have a solution to Santa's problem, and I'm going to show you the solution now really quickly. I've pre-recorded this because we don't have time for tech challenges today. I'm going to show you the solution, and then we're going to come back and we're going to look at how we actually put that together. So let me take you to what we've come up with to help Santa. So I'm all excited because I'm going to write my letter to Santa for Christmas. So I'm going to send that off to Santa. Now Santa gets a lot of these, so he needs a better way to manage them, and he's decided he's going to use a SharePoint list. And as you can see, the new messages come in and it's been labelled as new in his list under the nice list. So Santa's got to decide whether Jo Johnston has been naughty or nice. It's been really good all year. So Santa's going to come in, edit in grid view because that's easier for him to go through lots of them. And he's going to say, yeah, she has been great. I'm just going to exit that. Now, what needs to happen now is that message now needs to go to the elves. So I've just got a notification in Teams, and this has gone to the elves group chat. And this is the elves group chat, which is looking after the nice list, and their job is to create those presents. So they've got a message that says, "Dear elves, please can you make this lovely gift of a new jacket and hat for Jo Johnston, as they've been good all year, and once you've completed it, please update the list. Thank you from Santa." So now they need to go and update the list. So rather than having to leave Teams and go and update the list, they have the list pinned in their group chat just at the top, and they can see here that Jo Johnston is in there. They're going to edit in grid view. It's going to tick that box to say, we've created that present for Jo, and that's all ready. So Santa can view the list and he knows those presents have been created. So real simple solution for Santa. But when we were thinking about that, we had to think about what the flow would look like. So we're not necessarily thinking about the tech, we're thinking about how we want that flow to happen. So the first thing I needed was a form. So I created a form for my letter to Santa. Then I needed to create a list, and I needed the list to have categories in there that I could pull the information from the form and put in the right category in the list. And then I need to think about what my message to the elves was going to be. So I wrote that down in preparation. And then when I'm thinking about the automation part that's going to bring this all together, I thought about, well, I'm going to need the name for the list, the name of the form. I'm going to think about what the the field in the form is and what the field in the list is. So which ones are going to correspond, and then what the triggers are. So every workflow needs a trigger. So I'm thinking, well, the trigger is somebody fills in a form. And then the next trigger is Santa decides whether they've been naughty or nice. So I've put demonstrations together of how I've built this so that you can see how to get started. And the good thing is, it's recorded. So you can go back and pause and have a practice yourself at doing this. So here goes.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to need is our form. So I'm going to create a new form and I'm going to say, I'm going to call this letter to Santa 2023. I'm going to take those, I'm going to add those to my selected list. I want them all to be required. So I need to make sure people fill in all this information. So then I'm going to have a look at the style. But I'm going to see if I can get Santa and elves. So let's see what Bing comes up with. And I'm going to have a look at what some of the options are it's come up with. Like that, I don't need this. I'm going to take that bit off. There we go. So full name, email address, what do you want for Christmas? Let's have a little bit of holiday music. Very nice. Okay, so happy with that. Now, what is important for our automation here is our form. Let me switch that off. Our form has a special ID. So if you go up to the URL at the top, you'll see it says ID equals. We want everything after the equals. We just want to copy and paste that into a OneNote or something, somewhere you can keep it safe because you're going to need that. So I've got my form. Next thing I'm going to need is a list. So I'm going to create a new list. I'm just going to create a blank list. I could do something like use gift ideas. I'm actually just going to create a blank list and we're going to call it Santa's Naughty and Nice List. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to need some columns. So I'm just going to hide this title. Every list has this title by default. Okay, so I want the name of the person. And it's a single line of text. And I want email address, because these are all columns that I have in my form. What else do I need? I need gift. Now this might be multiple lines of text, so I'm just going to put gift in there. And then I'm going to need to know whether they're being naughty or nice. So I'm going to give that choice. And I'm going to say, yes, they've been good. No, they've not been good. Or this is new. So yes, I'll put in green. No, I'll put in red. And I'll put that in grey. And I'm going to save that. And my last column, I just want to have like a yes or no tick box. I'm just going to add that. And I'm going to say, is this ready? And the default is going to be no. I'm going to press save. Okay, so I've got my list ready. All good. Now I need to copy this information. So I'm going to copy everything up to the end of the domain name. So in my case, on Microsoft_com. And I'm just going to take a note of that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to do was just make sure I know what I want to say in my text message. So I've already written this up. Next thing I need is I need to go into Power Automate. So if you start typing automate, you'll get this. I've already got this open. Making it really simple, I'm going to stick with templates, and I'm just going to pop in, I want to create a form and list. So it'll give me lots of different options to choose from. So when a form is submitted, create a SharePoint item, automatically create a profile for new candidate. There's all sorts of different things in here. There's one here called add a SharePoint item and post message to a team on a Microsoft form submission. It's the form submission I'm interested in. So I'm just going to use this because it doesn't have to be perfect. I can remove elements that I don't want. Now, I have Copilot, so I'm privileged to have that, but just ignore this bit. We're not going to take any notice of a Copilot for now. All right, so I've got this flow. When a response is submitted into a form, update this SharePoint list, post in this channel, and send an email. Now, I don't want to do these bottom two elements at the moment, so I'm just going to right click on them and delete them. All I want to do at this moment is get the information from that form and put that information into the right places on that list. So this is where I get the information that I copied before. So my form ID that I copied, I'm going to need that. So when it says pick form, I'm going to put enter. You can either enter custom value if you can't see it here, or if it shows in the drop down, just like that. So my letter to Santa 2023 is there, which is awesome. Then I click on this box. So I'm going to select letter to Santa 2023 again. And then this bit, I now need to put in the link to the SharePoint list. So I'm going to pop in, so I'm going to use custom value and then selects that. And if that worked well, I should see my Santa list here. So it's Santa's naughty and nice list. I select that. Now this is the bit where we marry everything up. So if I click show all, you're going to see the different fields that appear in my list. And what I want to do now is tell them where to get the information from, like the form. So if I go into name and I go to FX, click dynamic content, I can put full name. Go to email address, select FX, dynamic content, email address, add, gift, FX, dynamic content, what would you like for Christmas? Click add. Now the nice value, the default is going to be new, and ready, we're not going to fill that in. In fact, we'll put no actually. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to press save. We can click flow checker. It's not found any errors, but now it's ready and we can test it. So I can test it manually. So I'm going to click test. Now what I need to do is I need to go back to my Santa form, and I need to put in my details. So I've put in all the information. I'm going to select submit. Now if I go back to my automate tab, it's told me that that flow ran successfully. If it came up with any crosses, I could dig into that and figure out. So that means that when I go to my SharePoint list, you can see here I've now got an entry, Daniel Johnston, that's his email address, he wants a gift, he wants a bag, and it's in the new section. Now, what I haven't done is set up the automation that's needed to notify the elves. So let's go back into Power Automate, and I'm going to go back into templates, and I'm going to say lists and teams. Let's see what we get now. So post a message to teams if the existing item is modified. All right, that'll do for me because I'll edit it again. So press continue. So I'm going to open that up. And okay, so I need the information about my SharePoint list. So I copy that and go enter custom value. and put my URL in there. If I've done it right, I will see Santa's Naughty and Nice list come up. Do this again, enter custom value, pop in my link. Santa's Naughty and Nice list comes up. Now I get to this bit. Now I don't want this because this is about posting in a Teams channel, and I actually want to post it in a group chat. But before I do, I've got to think about what I want the next step to be. So the idea is that if Santa says that the person has been nice, then they get a message, right? But I need to decide whether they've been nice. So I'm going to do a control option here, and this is a condition. So if the value of the nice list is equal to yes, then we want to go to Teams and we want to post a message in a channel or chat. If no, we don't need to do anything, so there's nothing in there. Now I want to post it in a group chat, and the group chat is the Elves Nice Present Creation request. I'm going to get the text that I popped into my OneNote earlier, and I'll pop that in there. But I want it to look a little bit better than that. So can you make this lovely gift? And I can find out from the form what the gift was that was requested. So if I click add dynamic content, I can add gift information, make sure there's a space, and I can say this is for such a body and leave a space. And I can finish that off with thank you, Santa. Maybe want to jazz it up with some little images. So if I click Windows key and colon, get some little secret little images that I can put in there. Now you'll see the format here looks a little bit different than the last flow that we created, and that is because the other one was being powered with AI. This one is the standard view of what it would look like. You may have the AI powered versions come up, but this way you're just getting to see what both views look like. They both do the same thing. It's just that the AI one is obviously giving you suggestions as you go as well. So I think we are good with that. So when an existing SharePoint row list is modified, if the condition is nice list is equal to yes, send a message in a chat to this group of people with this message. And I'm happy with that. So I'm going to press save. Then I'm going to press flow checker, see if there's any errors. No. And then I'm going to press test, and I'm going to say manual test. So I need to go into my list to see if this is going to work. Right, Santa comes along. He wants to go through his naughty and nice list, see who he thinks has been good. So he thinks Daniel's been good, so he's going to say yes to the bag. And he thinks Arthur's been good, so he says yes to that, and he exits that grid view. So in a few seconds, the elves are going to get that notification in Teams that lets them know that there's some work that needs to be done. So I've got a notification. I think I pressed it a couple of times. So I've got a couple of notifications that Daniel's been good all year and Arthur's been good all year, so they can have Arthur can have a lovely gift of bone, and he's been good all year, so please update the list once you've got that ready. Now I want to make it easy for the elves, so I want to give them a quick link to that list. Now you can't actually add a list into this group chat, but you can add a link to URL, so we can do it that way. So if I click the plus button and I put website, I can paste in the URL of the list, click save, and there you go. I can see the list from here. So the elves can go in and they can say I've got that ready and I've got that ready, and Santa can can look and he can see who's editing, and that those toys or gifts are all ready to go, making Santa's life a lot easier.
Hopefully that got you a little bit excited about going, maybe trying some automation in your own place, anywhere you've got to go and capture lots of Excel information. Maybe you're planning a Christmas party or something and you want to know about food and travel or whatever it is, where you've got to bring in lots of data. It's a real quick win. I know that's a lot in 20 minutes, but hopefully it's recorded. Go and have a practice yourselves. I'm sure there's lots of different ways that could be useful to you. So just a reminder, if you want to get inspired and hear from lots of people like me that have got lots of things that they share on the community, Superheroes is your place. It's also where we share the decks. So thanks everybody. Take care.